because I'm also juicing, so I started a 30-day or more juice cleanse yesterday for fruit juices, and my goal was to make the 12-pack stretch longer than 12 days. Like in the past I would have one a day. That would be like, you know, and I was really proud that for the first couple days I actually stretched one can out over 2 days each. I was all excited, and I go to look at the cans and it's like when I do my count, it's like, oh, it seems like I've been through 4 cans and I thought I'd only been through 3 since this thing came in, this, you know, order. And I'm going through the days since when I ordered I'm like, I swear to God, I've only had 3 cans. Where's the 4th can? And I'm very, very budgetary, very prude. You know, this was a big splurge for me because when it gets hot, I get really irritable, and it's like I just want a refreshing, you know, drink, basically. Aside from water, I've had so much water, it's ridiculous how much water I drink. So sometimes you just want something different, and it has a little bit of that pep, like a zip to it, and that's why I like it. And technically it's ice plus caffeine, but they put caffeine in it, so it has like zip or whatever. It's in the refrigerator, blue raspberry. It's not non-GMO, but did we want? But nonetheless, that's my little indulgence. So.
Yeah, if you pay, it's going to make it.
So, anyway, in terms of, you know, I've had a few instances that kind of made me wonder if there's a ghost, you know, running amok. Having things fall from my wall, having things go missing where it's like, I know I had more, I swear to God. So either someone can shuffle up your brain, and I know it can be done, so the problem is because there's a possibility that people can mess up people's brains and shuffle in and out perfect memories, it minimizes victimization of people who are actually victimized. And those in the know could easily say, oh, it was inserted. Was it real? Did it really happen, or is it just a story? That is such a minimization. It's a way for murderers, rapists, and thieves to get away with things. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, should we go this way? So I actually did something that I haven't done in a very long time, and I actually numbered the cans. It's a way to take control either which way. It's a way to say, all right, I'll number the cans and I'll keep track of which cans I've consumed. So I numbered the cans. Now, odds are, say there was some sort of magic trick or wrongdoing somewhere. When you live in an apartment, there's the potentiality that someone could enter without your knowledge. Most people at this particular building, well, I don't know what to say because people are trained to behave a certain way, but most people in general would be afraid to be fired if they were found out should they enter erroneously someone's apartment to play a game or play tricks, because even taking one can, they know most people can't totally remember, you know what I mean? Like, oh, did I have 4 cans instead of 3? And you would just assume it was your own. But I've had enough things happen that I've wondered who's willing to do what, or who's even puppeted to do what. So I numbered the cans, and I will be keeping track of the cans I've consumed. I did this once before in my old apartment way back, you know, after 2011, because it's, you know, it's not as bad these days on the streets as much, but in the past I was slammed so badly by groups of people who try to make you paranoid basically there are a lot of people out there who are fed information they think they're supposed to say it. The problem is it could feed into the worst crazy-making death machine you've ever found on Earth in history. That's about it. That's about it. And everybody thinks they have to play a certain game because they think they're supposed to do this for some reason. They think they're supposed to do that. The problem is, it's playing into a game. So anyway, I'll explain another example of this happening. So similar, when I first moved back to Philadelphia, because I was kind of forced to, I was away for 2.5 years, came back in 2021. In fact, I will be here almost exactly 4 years. At the end of May, I'll have been here, I will have been returned to Philadelphia for 4 years. But when I first moved back, I had a couple, there were a couple people who knew I was back in town, so they're like, oh, do you still, walk dogs, this, that, and the other? And I'm like, well, I have to walk dogs again and house sit. But anyway, someone I know who I would frequently, by coincidence, cross paths with. I would go outside, I'm like, there she is again, there she is again, there she is again. Coinky didn't keep crossing paths, even if I were to go out at odd times. I didn't have a set schedule, but we'll talk about that another day. So, anyway, she's like, by any chance, and she had a friend who also needed cat visits because they were both going away, say like to Atlantic City or something, for a couple days. So, I'm happy to get any work I can get, so I said okay. And I had built I had already built a nature wall on a wall in my apartment. And admittedly, it was kept up just with Scotch tape and other, it was kind of just put up there, but it kept staying up and it was totally fine. Before doing a house sitting overnight gig, what have you, staying with her dog overnight, I heard a couple crackles on the wall. So I was like, oh, I'll have to resecure the tape, or at least, well, can you believe, funky junk on this thing. Can you believe that, I'll have to start the story over because we're towards the end of during the first night, somehow that wall came down, like 90% of it.
Alright, so when you work Tuesday? Yeah. No, I work.
You work tonight?
I'm working up.
You work Monday?
I don't know.
I'm gonna check the schedule.
Okay, so we're into the third video, I guess. And I wanted to talk about a story really quick that I started in the previous video, and